Hey all, as always, share, like, subscribe to the vibes. So today I want to talk about something that's also personal to me, and I'm assuming most people, and the topic is spirituality. So I want to say that most people are spiritual. Um, with that being said, I'm just gonna mention a few different points from my standpoint and my perspective of being spiritual and what spirituality means to me. And in simple form, I think that why I say most people are spiritual, not mattering what religion, what background you have, is simply because to me, in the simplest forms, it just means being connected to spirit, right? So for me, I find that I'm more intuitive than most. At one point in my life, while I was almost just living in a haze where I was drinking very often and smoking, I didn't notice messages that come to me so easily nowadays, where where I'm more clear-headed, my head's on my shoulders, where I have specific morals, goals, dreams, and wishes that I work to each and every day. And I'm just more intentional. Everything I do is intentional. I actually just got back from outside. I took a little stroll, which I should be working out right now, but I just don't have it in me to start yet, just to get that better physical and feel better on the inside. However, like I said, I'm just taking it easy, and I was out for an hour stroll, and this guy was delivering packages and he walked by me, and as he walked by, he says, "It looks like you're working out." As I'm wearing athleisure, I'm sweating a bit, you know what I mean? So I'm like, it's exactly what it looks like. I'm very intentional about what I'm doing, right? To some, it might not look like I'm doing anything at all. But for me, an hour-long walk is something for me right now, because like I said, I'm not too physical. I should be in the gym, lifting weights and doing Stairmaster and, putting in some real hit work. Some high intensity training is needed. However, this is where I'm at right now. So anyway, back to the topic. I think that as we grow older, it's easier for us to maybe get into scarcity and fear-based mindsets, which are all man-made. I find when you're a child, you're more carefree, you're more free-going, easily not easily persuaded into other people's visions. You kind of just do what your birth purpose is, which is just living an authentic life. So with that being said, I think that playing, whatever that means, to each their own, but I think that connecting with your inner child is a big part of spirituality. It'll be hard for you. Oh, there's a wasp. Or is it a bee? I don't know. It's a wasp. Okay. So I think that also when you tend to grow older, it's easy for us to lose sight of our inner child. Some might think that's immature, or I shouldn't be doing this. I should just be work, or whatever it might be. I have things to tend to other than acting like a child. And obviously there's different actions that would be considered acting as a child. But for me personally, I think that it's easy, like I said, to lose your innocence and your childlike ways. So playing is a big part of being and having spirituality. So connecting with your inner child is super important, and I find that sometimes I just have to take the time out of my day in order to do that, and to remember that I once was a child, and everyone you see in this world, in this life and journey, was once a child. You know what I mean? So And I kind of just want to play that out a lot more before I myself become a mother or parent. I find that also too, like hanging out with my nieces and nephews, that brings a big part of me out. It's just easier for me to connect to my inner child because, like, you know, they're all very young children. So what we do is play, right? When they ask you to play, like, yeah, that's what I'm doing, is running around with them, or like making jokes and being like, you know, that big kid. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's a way of living and getting through life, not being so serious, you know? Another thing is creating is a form of art. So whatever that means to you. So it's a form of expression. I find that that brings out the authenticity in each and every person. Another word is wondering. So, you know, having an open mind, not being so closed off, is having that curiosity, like that childlike within you. Another one is dancing. So everybody's form of dancing may be different. So, you know, whether you do attend dancing classes or you know, it might not be like that term you might not resonate with. So, you know, just a form of moving your body. It's like a form of releasing. It's also like releasing stagnancy, right? So like motion, they say sometimes a little bit of motion is better than none, right? Because at the end of the day, you do not want to be stagnant. No part of your life do you want to be stuck. Do you want to be stagnant? If there's one thing about life, it's that change is inevitable. I posted something the other day that stated like, you know, at one point, even at some time there is time for change. Even time is ready for change. Somewhere along those lines. There's a specific quote, but you know, so, and what correlates with that is laughing, is like not to take life so seriously, right? Is just like they say that laughter is medicine for the soul, and I do highly agree with that. So another thing that connects with spirituality is exploring, is being able to go out of your norm. So discovering what you might not already know, right? So just being open-minded to learn other ways of life or other possibilities, or you know, just exploring what you might not already know, to know the unknown. And one of my favorite things to say, and which is on brand for me, is dreaming. It might seem so you know, like cliche, but I do feel like what that means to me is putting your goals and dreams and wishes into action. So like I said, everybody's looks different, but is like just literally being able to show up for yourself every day in terms of reaching your dreams one day. A big one that most of us miss is relaxing, is being able to take the time out at some point or another to relax, to come back into yourself, to you know, take time just to forget about the serious things, and taking time out to sleep, For a very long time, I didn't think that sleep was important, and it's honestly one of the most important things for your health. It is very vital. So whether that means taking a nap or just taking time to simply sit down and not think about all the serious things or all the things that are going on in the world, because there are a lot of things in life that are going on currently, right? Another big thing is sharing. So it doesn't mean like going out of your way to give. But what I mean by that is expanding your abundance. So maybe being able to share something that you have a lot of that someone else might not have so much of or any of, right? And that's just how the world goes around. If we're able to spot those types of things, then it's a win-win situation, right? You're not going out of your way to expand yourself, and that person might just get what they need at that moment. Another thing is listening, is being able to being open to receive, right? So when you're not the one doing the talking, then you're able to sit back and maybe be able to adjust things in order to understand and just listen, whether that's from another person's perspective or listen as a student from the earth being your teacher. But I always find that those are the times I'm able to actually learn something, is when I'm taking part in the listening. And for the final foremost is just simply being human. I find that spirituality, like some people define it as, everyone has their own definition of course, but some people do define it in different ways that might not make sense to others, and some people just have different visions in their mind of what spirituality is. But I think it's just being. It's just like we're all human, so like in that case we're all spiritual, right? So it doesn't have to be anything too serious. I know in that in the spiritual world, some people take it really seriously, and that they think that you're not intended to have material things and whatever it might be. But I feel like when you're living for yourself and for God, you will fulfill your purpose, and therefore you will get any and everything that you want, as long as you show up for yourself, as long as you're living authentically, as long as you're listening to your own intuition and strengthening that. Then I do think that you're able to achieve anything that you want in this life. And that's what I intend to do, and that's why I call myself spiritual, is because I do feel very intuitive. I feel that I came into this world for a purpose. I feel like I'm a woman for a reason, and this is just a form of me sharing some basic things that I feel about myself, and hoping it comes across to whoever that it's needed and intended to. And with that being said, I hope everybody has an amazing weekend ahead. It is a Friday where I'm at, so I intend to do that. And as always, like I said, share the vibes and subscribe. Ciao.